Hello my friends and welcome. My name is Trismegistus and this is Humankind. This is the OpenDev, I think it's called. Humankind OpenDev pre-alpha version. This is a set of scenarios. It's not the full game. This is obviously pre-release, as it says alpha. Pre-alpha in fact. So a very early version of the game. There was a video at the beginning when you load up the game and it describes 3 scenarios, but as you can see here there appear to actually be 5. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Each of these is time limited. If you go to the OpenDev website, you can register to essentially be randomly selected to get in. Now whether I get access to all of the scenarios that release, I don't know, but certainly got access to this first one, the Towers of Babylon. Discovery, small steps, growth. Standing at the centre of civilization, Babylon is, was and always will be one of the greatest cities the world has ever seen. It's your turn to write a chapter in its glorious history. How will you be remembered? Completion time estimation 45 minutes. So the idea is that all of these scenarios are quite short. I think they're equivalent to what is sometimes called a vertical slice. So they're going to be testing various different parts of the game. This one appears to be more about building, I think, and sort of the early phase of the game. As you can see, all of the pictures here, these all appear to be a bit more combat focused, maybe. So yeah, so let's have a play. This I've not started this. I've not played it before. Not watched any videos about it. Going in completely fresh. Current era classical, current era culture Babylonians. Originally a modest Mesopotamian city, Babylon, which in Akkadian means the gate of the gods, became between the... Oh, that's gone. Towers of Babylon. Let me tell you the story of this glorious city. How it began, how it expanded, how it thrived. Long ago, Babylon was little more than a dusty square and a smattering of market stalls, but its people had big dreams. Grow Babylon, explore its environs, and settle new lands. Expand and fortify the city. The fate of Babylon is in your hands. Objective: raise a city of many souls, protected by many armies, and whose influence stretches into new lands. Understood. I should know, I've cranked the graphics up to maximum. Thought might as well test out the you know, how it runs, as it were. It looks very pretty, yeah, I must say. Just give you a bit of background. Yeah, is that not? So that's a bit odd. My S and D keys. What's the controls then? Oh, Q. Hey. Okay, this appears to have a very odd key binding because Q is taking me left, S is taking me down, D is taking me right, and what's up? Z is up. Who the hell has come up with that ski? Wow. Yeah, no, that's a bad control scheme. We have to come up with that. Right, so what are we doing? Ancient Babylonians, ancient. The game ends in 29 turns. Okay, so that's where I guess the 45 minutes comes from. Scientists. Gameplay orientation focused on science and research. Can set cities into science mode. All the industry and money are converted into science. The mode lasts for at least 5 turns. Unlock action. What? Unlocks action. Convert to science on Empire. +1 era available to research. What have we got in terms of our tech tree? No technology selected. Click one of the above elements to start its search. Not quite sure the English there. Go to technology screen. Let's have a look at the tech screen. So, okay, so it's a relatively limited tech tree, I guess, just for this scenario. These are all obviously locked. There's quite a lot of text in it though, aren't there? We've got calendar, domestication, carpentry, city events, and masonry available to us. So, what these symbols mean? Research. That lets me build. Okay, that lets me build a research quarter, a commons quarter, a granary. That gives me horses, animal barns, clear forests, lumber yard. I wonder if that's a production, yeah, industry, On exploitation, okay. Archers. Cool. Masonry. Forced labour. Stoneworks. Watchtower. Palisades. Warriors. Okay, should we go with calendar then? These are presumably the number of turns it's going to take to unlock. They're all about the same, by the looks of things. Classical oh, I see. Okay, so we've got 2 eras. Let's go with calendar. Epicenter of the city's political apparatus. Here, our legion of bureaucrats ensure the smooth running of our civilization. Now that they are living in permanent settlements, the villagers want to track the challenges of the seasons and organise the planting of crops. Empire bonus. Most of the technologies unlock constructible game content, units, infrastructure, extensions, etc. Others, however, unlock a specific type of content called Empire bonuses. These bonuses are immaterial and will immediately apply across... What? These bonuses are immaterial, so they don't matter, and will immediately apply across your entire empire. That seems to self-contradict itself. If it's immaterial, it means it doesn't matter. I assume that might be another sort of linguistic problem. So how do I get out of... Okay. And then... Oh! Where the mind can see, the physical body can follow. What we got here? Oh yeah, so it's my astronomy house. That's presumably a special building we can build. Great. Astronomers and adept mathematicians, Babylonian priests work in temples to understand and predict planetary movements. +2 food per researchers, +2 science per adjacent farmers. Quarter, +1 researchers slot on a settlement. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce that. Sabusa Quasti. As levy recruits, Sabusa Quasti are armed and trained to fight in exchange for access to temple-owned land. Excuse me. Melee. Close quarters combat unit. Useful for protecting ranged units from cavalry. Guardian, stronger when standing on a friendly extension. Era stars are not available. Okay. Era goal not available. Competitive deeds not available. Okay. Can I do anything with him? And that would presumably be, yeah, as I moved into different eras. What's this about? One idle city. So this city is not constructing anything. So this is my city. Stability is under control. There's a lot on the UI, isn't there? Public order is currently at 57%. Evolve every turn by -2% until it reaches 54%. Okay. Why? The current number of population assigned to this category, each population assigned will provide additional guild. Food growth. The amount of food produced is accumulated turn after turn in order to generate new population. If you don't generate enough food, your city will stagnate or even worse, end up in starvation. In such cases, population will die or leave the city by themselves. Population value will increase due to the current production of food. This state will remain as long as your settlement food production stays between 10 and 50. So I've got 2 exploitations. The city's eating 1. We're getting 2 from the... So we're getting quite a lot of food production. Industry. The amount of industry produced is transferred to the first element in the construction queue at the end of the turn in order to participate in its construction. If more industry than required is produced, the overproduction will be transferred to the next element or stocked for the next turn. Okay, so it's just fairly civ standard. Amount of money credited is buy buildings, improve your units, yeah, science, yeah, it's the amount of research we're doing. So we've got a balance policy. So this appears to be like governors in civ. So should I boost one to the tech? So can I add more people? Where are those coming from? Where's it telling me? Oh, I've got 1. Current number of population assigned to this category. Okay. Okay. Infrastructures. Within the construction list, as well as units and extensions, you'll also find infrastructures. Each city can only build one of these special buildings, and they are not placed on the map, but they will directly improve the city. They interact with quarters and other game entities in unique ways. Read the descriptions and plan your construction accordingly. First, let's build one of the infrastructures by left-clicking its illustration. So that's them, I presume. That seems to be... do I have to build that one? Or is that's maybe the recommendation? I'd rather build that, I think. I can't build it there. I'd have to build it on top of something else? Is that what that's telling me? So that gives +9, +9. Why can't I build it there? We had lots of food spare, didn't we? So I'll place the astronomy house. Does it get any bonus from being higher up? Well, we had lots of food production spare, so let's pop one of them in. Within the construction list, as well as units and extensions, you'll also find in... Oh, that's the same point. Can I build another one? No. Where did that go? Oh, right, okay. Oh, that's like a queued thing. Oh. So can I get rid of it? Okay, so after that... I see. So they're sort of like... It's like a combination of districts and... I mean, should we put a scout on afterwards? So that we've got someone... Or is that a scout up there? What is our... Escape out of that. What are you? You're a regiment composed of 2 scouts, so actually we don't really need scouts from in there. I'm trying to right click to get rid of it and it's just closing it. Cannot be done without enough strategic resource deposits. What is the strategic resource I need though? Stones to grind nuts. Territories. Money. So these are like they're increasing the amount of each item, aren't they? So if we build them... Oh, I can build that at the same time though. This is a bit odd. I can't... I would have to build it in those squares again. Oh, this is weird not having... Oh. Okay, so the arrow keys also do movement. Why can't I build it in any of them? Can I build that in there? So for some reason I can only build on adjacent tiles, even though we've kind of got things on them already. It's not clear to me why I can't build on those tiles. Let's just leave that doing what it's doing there. An idle army. So, we've got something up there. Looks like it's probably a Civ style goodie, huh? To find a reward, yep. So, okay. No? Gonna move still? Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay, I got build an outpost. With this army action, you can set up an outpost. An unclaimed territory, one without any city or outpost already on it. In the future, this outpost can become a city. Okay. I'd rather... There's another goodie hut over there, isn't it? That's copper. So we'll go and see what that is. In turn. Oh. I hate games that use the bloody arrow keys as direction stuff. Okay, so...
Over this way.
Is it what this is about? Or animal remains. I don't know what that does. You're not telling me what that does. Animal lair. This is a lair. Destroy it and you will stop the associated animal from spawning. To destroy a layer, you can ransack it with an army on the adjacent tile. But what animal is it? Okay.
Come over here.
So, I mean, what does that mean? To complete its move. Okay, so that's like auto move. So what's my ransack button? Left click on the layer to move your army and start the ransack. Note that ransacking might last a few turns. Be warned, if this layer is guarded by an animal, you will only be able to ransack once it's been killed. Okay. No? So how do I start that then? Ransack. Can I not rotate the camera? I guess not. Ransack done. You have destroyed the layer. Hover over the ransack icon to see your spoils. The spawn point has been ransacked. 22 gold. Marvellous.
I'm on it.
Let's go and go around now. Can I not break this into two sets of scouts or something? What's that? Stonefield, salt deposit, base movement. Okay.
Follow me.
What's this now? Click to open or close the notification. Oh? Oh, I see. That's just telling me I did that. Okay. Turn. So I'm thinking about putting them there. Maybe? Oh, merge your armies. But it's still using one of your Empire generals. This army contains a single unit. Oh, they did separate them. To be able to keep creating units without suffering from a money upkeep cost due to insufficient generals, you can merge your armies. Move an army to another army's tile. Total units of both armies is less than or equal to the unit slot limit. Both armies will be merged and become one. Okay. Oh, so it treats animals as... Okay. So if I attack them, what happens? Preview...
All together!
Confirmation phase. You've engaged an enemy in battle. If this was a mistake, you can cancel the attack using the retreat button. If you do so, your army will be moved automatically using its maximum movement points, no matter if they have been spent before, until the end of the turn. The retreating army will receive a retreat status, locking several army actions and preventing further retreat. Note that the enemy can also choose to retreat. You can also left click on the confirm battle button to commence the fight. Notice the overall army strength to help you estimate the outcome of the battle. Okay. Confirm battle. Oh, of course, it's going to be like Endless Legends, isn't it? Okay. So if I put one army... Oh? Why did that not? It's a bit confusing between left click and right click. Yeah, what? So where did it go? Oh, there it is. This is some damnably tough deal. Okay, victory. Battle has ended. The outcome is already visible, but if you want to learn more details, you can click the left panel. Fine. Yeah. No. Okay, marvellous. Right, so we've done calendar. Now that they... Oh, another animal. Now that they are living in permanent settlements, villagers want to track the changes of the seasons and also planting crops. Yeah, okay, so we've got another tech we can research, really. Crikey. I'm not keen on it doing that, opening right at the end all the time. So... Let's open writing. Or irrigation. What about if we... Will it let me stack text? Yeah, well, okay. How about we did carpentry and then masonry? Cool. So I'm thinking about building an outpost, or, you know, doing one of these here. Because then we'll presumably get that copper. So they're building an outpost. Is this still... Oh, it has. It's finished. Why did it not tell me that's finished? Unless it finished this turn. So. Alright, these have now got... Does it automatically put fields on, maybe? Huh. Extension construction. Your city is now set up in a territory. The territory's borders are painted in your empire's colours, and an extension can be built in this territory. Quarters will expand the exploited area of your city and increase its production. Left click on a quarter and place it on the map to begin its construction. Oh, I see. So you've got... Oh, okay. So why don't we build a research quarter, since we're scientists and that's kind of our bag? Where do we put it? So it has to be... So it's like building outwards, I guess. That's why I can't just randomly pick... Even though these are my territory, I have to build it in a sort of a growing, you know, growing outward way. So... Am I getting any bonus? Oh, no. So none of these give a sort of bonus to... If that isn't that meant to be a... Oh, we didn't lose the food from it. Okay. So if I build that... I'm guessing there are adjacency bonuses and things like that. This quarter is under construction. It will be completed in a few turns. Note the number of quarters cannot exceed your population. In order to keep expanding a city, a greater and greater population is needed. I wonder what the unit is that, you know, what the resources I need to get them. Can I build a granary afterwards? I'm a bit unsure why. So if we prioritise growth, it puts that in the food. So if we do technology, it puts it in money. It doesn't put it in science, which is where I would have expected to see it. If I put it in expert, what happens? Where am I dragging that to? Oh, okay. So that's like a custom one, I take it. So if I do technology, why does it focus on money for if your thing is technology? I mean, you would expect an economic prioritises industrial. Expert is where you can do it, set it for yourself, I guess. No. Let's do something like that. And presumably as we get food, I'll get more and more population. Crikey, a melody for every occasion. In the teeming, iconic city of Babylon, musicians are a celebrated part of the local culture with a long history in holy rites. They bring nobility to religious rituals, jollity to palace celebrations, smiles to the sick and ailing, courage to marching armies, and distraction to the gods. Alas, they are still too small in number, especially the good ones, and now word of their renown has reached across the empire. Lords, priests, commanders, among others, are grousing that their city deserves such artists too. How will you satisfy them? So in other words, we've got lots of good artists and everyone else wants them. Muster. Street musicians riddle Babylon. They could help commerce elsewhere even if they distract learning. Parsimonious on Babylon for 10 turns. Less enlightened citizens result as capital earmarked for schooling and innovation is kept in the treasury coffers. +5 to money, +2 to science. Could have unexpected consequences. Build. Every city will be required to build an institution of music where we can teach new performers. It's going to cost me 60 gold. Have I got? Oh, I've got 60 gold. Overproduction on Babylon for 10 turns. Industry thrives in the city as technological innovations and motivated workers combine. I think we'll go that one, will we? Might as well. Okay. What's the notification here? Research done, okay. What are these? Share the hide the primary outputs. Don't really seem to be doing much. Oops, that's tile yields. And that's your grid. Okay. Scientist affinity. You've chosen a scientist culture. You now have access to a special action related to science. Let's select one of your cities to learn how to use it and discover its effects. So, scientist affinity. Your special affinity action is available. As a scientist culture, you can order any of your cities to have a special focus on science production. If you left click on this action, this city will stop producing industry and money, instead converting 50% of the original production into science. This focus on science production lasts at least 5 turns, and after that you'll be able to return the city to normal by clicking this button again. And it's that one, is it? Okay. So, given we just clicked a thing that said, you know, boost industry, if I hit that, we'll get a massive boost to science, I think, won't we? But you've got to keep it going for 5 turns. It converts money and industry to science. We might as well do that then. So that, I don't know if I saw that. It bumped from, was it 3 to 1? City is now entered. Okay. So that allows you to boost whatever your focus is, basically. But it does mean that, for example, that research quarter, presumably, is going to take a lot longer. And we aren't going to be producing money either to be able to just buy it. So it's a balancing act, I take it. One-eyed lamb, here we go. Resource deposit. This element indicates the application of a resource deposit. Resources can be exploited by a city or an outpost in the same territory. There are 2 types of resources. Strategic resources, with a grey icon, are used as prerequisites for some construction. Luxury resources, with a yellow icon, provide economic bonuses for all cities. You can mouse over to learn details about the resource. Understood. So does that mean I can use my outpost to exploit that, or would I have had to have built it on that copper? Oh, it's not finished yet, is it? So if I attack them, will a stag attack my outpost? I mean, it's a, you know.
For your family.
Let's go for an attack anyway. So we want to put you, say,
Not in this
no. Put you there. Put you there. We have gloriously defeated the Stag Sire. Okay. Victory. I don't really seem to have gained anything out of that, I can tell. Carpentry, the art of woodworking, is essential for bowmaking and lays the foundation for future construction. Can I get rid of that? So I had masonry on the go, didn't I? Should I stack up something else? Oops. What should we do? I mean, we're on the coast, so I don't know if we could get to there. Because it's 1, 2, it's going to be 4 turns to do it. Okay. Oh, okay. Ah, so if I had 70 gold, I could exploit that copper, I think that's saying. So you can move it. Okay. Stability, again, I would need 100 thing. Okay. Okay, so I can't really do anything with that because I've just not got the cash. Shall we just head off, do a bit of explorations?
Yes. Off we go.
Masonry. The ability to hew rocks with into precise block. Oh, that would appear to be a mammoth. Buildings can last hundreds of years. We'll have to see. So I don't know if it will actually like, attack our outpost or anything. So that's horses. Unit selections. You can use all the army actions unit is able to do, but you can also manage the units one by one. Okay, so if different. Oh, okay. These guys can actually do things. Ransacking so they can cut a forest. Okay. Right, I don't really need you to see that. Oh, that's one of those animal generating ones again, isn't it? Okay. So is the city done building anything or anything like that? Oh, okay. So this is our full map. Ooh. Melody for every occasion 2. Creating an institution to get it to music in every city was an excellent idea. Performers produced refined, delicate compositions and many pay for the privilege to hear them play. Music is a serious, artful practice carried out by trained adepts. The strict classical musical culture is well established. Euphony. Music is a sacred art, only to be performed by those with the requisite learning. So this is a bit frostpunky, isn't it? So you make sort of decisions. Where, well, obviously in Frostpunk they're more which is the least horrible option. But this seems to be more like choose your buffs style of things, and then they have consequences later on. Cool. Okay. Enter. So that's fishing done. This is a massive boost to science, this thing. But eventually I'm going to get to a point, because I'm obviously making no money, because it's all going, or I'm not doing any production, because it's all going into science. Imagine seeing a fish, crispy, yeah. So Do we need to stack up another one, or have we still got... So we've got sailing to go, but that's only going to take a turn. So we might as well stack them up as well. So yeah, so you can flip your entire society up with this, you know, in this thing, to doing science. But I say, at the cost of, you know, advancing anything, basically. Okay. So, how many turns can I... So it's locked. Okay, so you have to wait for the 5 turns. Does that mean I've got 2 of 5 left? Or that I've taken 2 of 5? Okay. How do I get out of that? Okay. It's a bit confusing between left click and right click, and this scrolling the screen is pretty damn slow. So let's have an explore round. I don't know if there's any other, you know, civilizations on this map or not. Sailing done? Yeah, so it's a real... oh, bugger. That was a misclick. Dang, okay. I meant to scroll down. Okay, so it's saying... So that's like you've got 1 turn left, basically. Okay. Is that, you see what I mean? Because... So to get out that screen, that was a right click. If I click on those guys, to move them, it's a right click. And a left click is an exit. So that's going to take some getting used to. So city defense done? I think we'll turn this boosty thing off though. That's I say it's a massive sort of leg up by the seeming of things. So if we do stack them up. But say I think we'll turn it off because we need to get some progress going. We need to cache to you know, get to that copper and things like that. So if I turn that off. And that should start everything back up again. And so that completes the turn. So how far can we go? Let's go to that bit there. Oh, another goodie hump by the things.
Come over here.
What did that say? I think it said Old Horde. I don't know what that's giving us though.
Follow me.
What was that? They're not very clear, them. It's saying they're exhausted. What does that mean? Oh, it just means that unit things are over. Should we try and fight a mammoth? It's not actually finished yet, is it? What's our notification here? Population gain. More people, more power. Ah, so we're now at 2 out of 9. And what's it done with them? It's put another one in science because that's where I've said the priority is. So presumably it'll fill that up first and then move on to food and then... So it's not sort of trying to balance them across those. Although I'm going to get that research quarter which presumably gives me an extra 1 slot. Okay. So where's my army? Here was my army. So shall we take on this mammoth?
Charge!
Charge indeed. Where is this capture their flag? Is that their flag? a bit more evenly matched than... can I attack again?
That won't work.
No.
Negative.
Oh, I can't because I'm on a hill and I'm not, you know, a ranged unit. Let's give you a slap. Yep. Oh dear. In theory, oh, there we go. One dead F lump. Can I attack
You asked
again?
too much.
No.
Forget it. You asked too much.
If can I swap them over? No. Just retreat them because they're a bit beaten up, those lads. Okay. Oh. He's going to go for them. So it won't kill him. Oh. Oh dear. We did badly there. Oh no. Oh. Crikey. It's a victory, but a bit on the Pyrrhic victory side of things, that. Lost 97% health, 58% strength. Wow. Was that... Oh, we've already seen that, haven't we? So it's bronze working finish, forged in fiery crucibles. Bronze is stronger and more durable than copper and transforms tools, weapons and armour. So, can I now build a copper mine? Copper mine. Yes, there we go. Cool. What about down here? The scroll's quite slow. So the granary is still going. How about if I... Oh, I can drag them. Okay. Oh, no, but that moves both of them. I don't want to move both. Can I do control to split them or something? No? No? Moving them as both as one. Okay, alt maybe? No. No. Why can't I split them up? No, that just closes it. Okay. We'll focus on staying still for a while, but I suspect I'll need to move them back over to production. Can he rest up or something? Attack, claim territory, ransack, cut forest, skip. Does not have a status maimed. Recovery will be a difficult process for the maimed members of this unit and one possible infringement territory. What? Recovery will be a difficult process for the main members of this unit and one possible infringing territory. I don't understand what that means. Doesn't appear to be a sort of symmetry. Don't appear to be a sort of a rest up. Ah, this action is not implemented. Okay, so in theory that's what you would be able to do, but you can't in this thing. Okay. Oh dear. Oh no, that's mine. Okay. So that's like a proper Civ Goody hut, isn't it? Yeah, it's Babylonian. Okay. Ah, gave me 10 science. Okay. Wasn't there something here? Okay. Living Shrine. Gave me 15 of something or other.
Off we go.
There. You can still move, okay. What's that?
Let's go.
Oh, there's some kind of goodie out there as well. I wonder if they sort of spawn randomly. Domestication, the tanning and breeding of wild animals. So I'm doing a load of science, you see, but I'm not really producing anything to really sort of take advantage of it. Should we go and get that? I don't know if that was there all the time, or or it spawned in. Scrolling is very slow. And that's quicker if you drag. But I'm a little nervous of that, having done that misclick.
Come over here.
Okay. I don't know if there is any other population on this map. What's this actually giving me? Visual material, certainly the best. So you can turn it into a city, okay. Right, let's get them to do that. Oh, I'll give me a bit more of something or other. That pops up too quickly to read that. Horsemanship, I guess I don't have anything queued, do I? So what about, let's just do irrigation. If I shift click, can I queue them up? Yeah, there we go. We'll just progress it up, really. I'm sure there's probably an optimum way of doing these things, but it's very much me.
Follow me.
No, there's a misclick again. I'm right clicking because that menu's up, and right click gets rid of menus. But obviously that didn't quite work like that.
Over this way.
Idle army up here, okay.
Will
I'm not
do.
quite sure what these dotted lines are meant to represent either. You know, is that sort of saying that if you put something down in that sector, it remains yours, or what? You know, if I put an outpost here, do I claim that entire sector? We can give it a go, I guess. Enter. Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's go and get this goodie hut first. Ooh. That's pearls or something, yeah. Okay. So if I get these guys to go down... Where would be a good spot? If we get them to go sort of here... and see if we can build an outpost next to these horses. Norses. So there's my other army. Can they build outposts? They can. So these are territories, I guess. So I can't build one. Yeah, okay. So you can only build one outpost in a territory. Okay.
Come over here.
Got anything going? We're still not finished production here. Didn't I move them over? Now it's letting me move one. Or is that because I had... If you do... okay, so if you... so what I was doing before, I was clicking on the top one. So if they're together... Click the top one, you move all of them in that stack. And the bottom one just moves one. Okay. Okay. So we could probably do actually with... We've got loads of sciences done. I don't really seem to be building... You know, I need stuff to... You know... take advantage of that, really. So we've got... What's this telling me? City's no longer growing. I assume because are these each population eating 2, maybe? Which is why I need this granary to be finished. So I might as well put them both in production. Not that that seems to make... Oh no, it's a turn different. Oh well, turn different for both of them. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of money just for one of... a lot of difference for one of them. If I right click, are you gonna... Okay. Okay, let's go get this goodie hat. Carcasses, 10 gold. So if I move
Let's
them
go.
to there... Another one of those mammoth lads. So done irrigation as well, ooh, lovely. It's pretty. It's a little opaque, if I'm totally honest, in some regards. But it's got... That's probably because it's... No, yeah, I can build an outpost now. Yep, okay. I don't think they need to stay there to build
we
it
go.
still, it's automatic. What about you lads? You're over here. Why don't we nip up and get that instead first? Okay. So can they build... Because there's a thing here, isn't there? Stone field, salt deposit. So can I build that on there? I can, okay. I see. Once you create an outpost, the territory where it is located is considered claimed and belongs to you. No one else can create an outpost there. Unless an opponent has open borders with you, they can no longer lawfully set foot inside either. If for some reason you are not satisfied with the position of your outpost, you can relocate it somewhere else inside the territory. You can also develop it into a city, enabling resource gathering, infrastructure construction, and military production. But be aware that cities cannot be relocated. In both cases, these operations take turns to complete. So am I not harvesting that because it's not actually a city yet? Let's turn it into a city then. Oh no, that's movement, isn't it? To make it a city I need 100 gold, which I obviously haven't got. Okay. Let's get them over there. It's still being created. So we've got some animal raids. So, so it almost feels like you should be almost rushing territory grabs, maybe? But with the scouts, really, you should get them going and, you know, get them out claiming lots of territory. I assume this is, like, because they're not recovering, I assume they need to be back in my territory before they start recovering. So I'm guessing once it's... Oh, Mercury, okay. Once it's a sort of proper game, as it were, once it's, you know, into proper alpha and proper beta, there'll be actual, like, proper tutorialing, and there'll be an actual...
Yes, sir.
If not a campaign, then a sort of more guided thing to actually sort of explain some of this. What have we got there? One idle city. Okay, so you've finished your granary, have you? So how about we move one to food now? And what do we want to build then? So I'm sort of guessing that this is like actually effectively an unimproved tile, but it's really trying to show you the areas that you can, you know, put things down. So actually this isn't a farm, it's just sort of, you know, well, as it says, an exploitable. Yeah, so at the moment it's giving you 2 food just because that's its default thing. So if we put a proper, for example, maker's quarters, extension control quarters may be placed adjacent to an existing one, or adjacent to unbuilt tiles. Please note the synergies. These mean that at least one unbuilt adjacent tile will augment your new quarter's production. Left click on a synergized tile to instruct your quarter and benefit from the bonus. So this is a lot like the Civ system in Civ 6. So there you go. So that will massively boost, not massively, it'll go from 3 to 6, but take away the food, and also increases the sort of, or gets boosts because these are undeveloped tiles essentially. So this is probably quite a good, oh no, that's quite good, isn't it? That's a good place to put that, I think. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. 2 idle armies. So we've got these lads up here. So if I... because I've only got 8 turns left. Where are you? There you are. Let's get you down there. Okay. Curiosity collected, new knowledge. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, so it feels like the early part of the game would probably end up being essentially a land grab. You know, get out there, build all your outposts really quickly. So if we get up there, can we build an outpost? Oh, I see. And you need money to do it, obviously. Ah, okay. More tech. Cool. Well, yeah, okay. That's fine. What's this telling me? Population gain. So put it into science for me, but given what we now know, probably money's better. Because it's basically putting these in the order I prioritise them, but then you can manually move them, unless you've got your focus, unless you're using your focus system, I guess. Okay. 2 idle armies. Research done. You. I'm not sure of the point of killing these animals. It doesn't seem to sort of achieve much of anything.
Let's go.
What's that? Oh, it's just a forest. Okay.
Off we go.
Where do we want to go? What's that? Marble. Okay. So there's lots of different resources in the game.
Come over here.
Let's go this way.
Over this way.
Let's have a look at the full map. So I've only explored, you know, what's that? A third of it, maybe?
Off we go. Follow me.
Acknowledged.
Let's go. Will do.
Okay, so it's now finished what? The production thing, I guess? So I've got lots and lots of production options. How many turns have I got? I only got 3 turns. And everything takes longer than 3 turns. So we flip everything to production then. 4 turns, so still can't build anything. Just build that millstone. So it only takes a turn.
Will do.
Off we go. All right.
Game ends in 2 turns. What does that do? Turning Rex?
Over this way.
Oh, bugger. Didn't mean to do that. Anyway. Wheel done? Cool. Well, I'm guessing if you the reason they've got this is that you can get properly into, if you maxed it for the entire game, you could get, all the way up here sort of thing. But these appear to be all the ancient techs done. And those are the classical techs, and then so they're massively increasing in cost basically. So we'll just pop that on. What does that? So it's a tech done, idle army, bone idle. So if there's another civilization in this, I've not encountered them obviously. I like the terrain. I like how it it's very clear. I couldn't find a key to rotate, so I presume it's very much fixed, fixed viewpoint. But I like... Oh, open there. Oh, of course, because we did that. Oh, we've literally got 1 turn left. Yeah, I like the map. I like the display. It doesn't quite explain what's going on, and these are complicated things going on here. It doesn't quite... It would be better if this was properly segmented, I think. So it was more clear what a unit... I mean, obviously, unit orders are fairly... I can now build one of that, I presume, because I needed copper, was it? See, it doesn't tell me what... it had a thing saying what was the blocker on, you couldn't build that because you needed a resource. Now, the only resource I think I've exploited is copper, so presumably I needed copper, but it doesn't tell me that's why I can now build this unit. I'll just plop it on Archer. And yeah, so, things like that is presumably... well, can I cancel that? No. Can I cancel that production? Oh, there we go. So is that you see, is that just in my city? Because these ones that are, actual things, it's not... I guess it does call them quarters. But it would be easier to grok, to understand, if they're a bit more sort of segmented or, different. That looks like a unit to me, but that's a lumberyard. Do you know what I mean? Oh, I suppose, are they trying to indicate that with the different shapes? So that's a unit. Square ones are... they are. Okay, so those are hexagons because they're they're tile improvements. These are actual changes to your city, which is why they're square. And then these are units, which is why they've got that shape on them. Okay. That's subtle. Obviously, I didn't spot that. Okay. Idle army. Ooh, coffee beans, is that? Yeah, okay. End turn, which is presumably my last turn. There we go. Thank you for playing. Your story of this encounter is somewhat different from official historical records, perhaps, but it was a great, memorable journey nonetheless. 2 outposts, 1 territory is attached, 3 population, 3 units, 12 technologies, 6 extensions. Perhaps you'd like to replay and see if you can do even better. In any case, we hope you enjoyed this scenario and we are eager to hear your feedback. Give us your feedback. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to put the feedback in, but I'm not going to record it. Yeah, as I was trying to wrap up at the end there, it's very pretty. The keyboard controls, not sure about. I never like games where they use the arrow key, use WASD as your directional keys. And that was all over the place. The W taking you, wherever it was, left and whatever, that was just bonkers. I don't know why they've mapped that like that. The city screen was very cluttered in my opinion. Also, this is obviously a 4K display. I'm playing on 4K, and you can sometimes with 4K displays you can like magnify, upscale all the UI because it can be difficult to see if you've got a relatively small 4K screen, and I haven't got any of that. It's all at 100%. So to me, those, all of that stuff, it was a bit big. It's like it's, and I don't mean this in an offensive way, but it's like it's been designed for console, where things need to be big because you're generally when you're playing on console, you're quite a long distance from the TV you're playing on, so they have to make icons big so that you can actually see them. But it meant, as a PC player, I'm, less than a metre away from my screen. I could see those. I didn't need giant icons, but it made it feel very cluttered and very busy. There didn't seem to be enough explanation of what was going on. I had to figure quite a lot of that out myself. Those pop-ups were coming up, talking about expansion stuff after I'd already done them, which, that's to be expected given it's very early, in its build, but it tends to suggest it probably needs quite a good tutorial system. But as I say, one of the things I would say, it was very pretty. It wasn't clear to me at the beginning. It implied that there would be some proper threat, but the only threat in this seemed to be animals, and they seem to be perfectly happy going about their own business. It didn't seem to any particular benefit to attacking the animals, and obviously those mammoths nearly wiped out my scouts. So yeah, so that this as a scenario was a bit sort of vague. It felt more like a vertical slice of the you know, the what's the 4X? I can never remember what the 4X stands for, but the, you know, the exploration expansion parts of 4X seemed to be what this was really about, you know, a sort of demonstration of those. And it was okay. Some also confusion with what did left click and right click do. You know, that changed depending on the context, and that wasn't entirely clear, so I had a few misclicks. But yeah, I think, you know, given it seems to be quite early, I think this is probably of interest. Yeah, so I may even do some more of these OpenDev Humankind videos if I get access to more of the scenarios. I'll call an end to that there. If you've been watching, I hope you've enjoyed it and you might consider coming back for another one. I've been Trismegistus. This has been Humankind. Thanks for watching. Cheers.